The 39 records which he holds right now: Stanley Cup playoff records 9, career records 5, regular season records 21, All-Star game records there are 4. If we turn to page 2, we can see that number 99 has scored the most goals single season, 92, 135 assists, most points, of course, and longest scoring streak, 51 games. Moving on to page 3, most assists in one game belong to Wayne Gretzky, most goals in one period, all in less than 7 seasons in the National Hockey League. And the great one is alongside here on New Year's Eve. When you were a young man growing up, I imagine your first goal was just to make the National Hockey League. Now you're rewriting the record book. Do you ever dream you'd be so successful?
Well, I feel very fortunate that things have happened to myself, and it's a great thrill to get in the NHL and to be part of it and do something that you love, but to be able to be on this hockey team and play for a club that's so good and has such great people involved, it's a real pleasure for me.
Wayne, if there's a young man out there who is saying, boy, I'd like to be just like Wayne Gretzky someday, I'd like to break all of his records, what advice might you give him as far as modeling himself after you?
Well, I guess the biggest thing is that, as I said earlier, it's a great life, and you may have to sacrifice a lot of things growing up, but believe me, it's worth it. And once you get here, it's a great thrill to be part of the NHL, and it's worth the sacrifices.
I know your dad was a huge influence in your hockey career.
Well, I think all parents are influences on children, and my dad and my mother were a big influence in my life, and a big part of me being able to get into the NHL, and I'm very grateful to them for that.
How do you feel about the President's Trophy now, $200,000 to the team that accumulates the best record?
Well, it's a trophy that I think is long overdue. I think that they need something to make the regular season worthwhile, and we were involved in a very important hockey game tonight. Unfortunately, we're down 2-0, but we got a strong club, and there's a lot of hockey that will come back and make a game of it. But I agree with what they've done, and I think it's great for hockey that we have some interest throughout the 80 games.
With all the hundreds of interviews, radio and television and newspapers that you've granted, what's the one question you've been asked the most that maybe you hate the most?
Well, I don't know if it's a question I've been asked the most, but I guess it's probably a question to try to compare today's hockey to hockey 30 and 40 years ago. We'll never be able to do that, and I think that we're just wasting our time trying to compare it.
Any New Year's resolutions for number 99?
Well, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I've been worrying about this hockey game for the last couple of days, but I guess if I had one, it would be to be able to relax in an airplane.
In an airplane. You don't spend enough time there, do you? Have a good New Year's. All right, Wayne Gretzky, thank you for joining us. And for joining us here on ESPN, number 99 gets the stylish Loris Sports Watch. Loris, the official timepiece of ESPN. 2-0, the Flyers on top over the Oilers, but 2 big periods yet to go. We'll join Tom Mees right after these messages.
Now Gretzky does. He cuts into the Flyers in again.